Alpha Brain claims to enhance memory and focus, but does it really deliver on any of these claims? A big problem with supplements that claim to boost your brain is the lack of human research supporting their efficacy. While some ingredients may have undergone human studies, much of this research focuses on those with cognitive impairments, like Alzheimer's disease or dementia, rather than on healthy individuals. It's important to recognize this distinction because if you're looking to boost your cognitive abilities and you don't have any diagnosed cognitive problems, many of these supplements are unlikely to help you. Keep this in mind as we analyze the ingredients in Onnit Alpha Brain. Vitamin B6 plays a role in brain and nerve health alongside other B vitamins like B12 and folic acid. It's involved in neurotransmitter synthesis and the formation of myelin, which is essential for proper nerve function. However, research indicates that supplementing with vitamin B6 does not benefit mood or cognitive function. In fact, the same goes for B12 and folic acid. Supplementation with any of these B vitamins don't seem to enhance cognitive abilities either. Furthermore, taking B vitamin supplements doesn't seem to prevent cognitive decline, nor slow down the cognitive decline of older individuals. So despite the essential functions that B vitamins provide for our cognitive well-being, studies consistently show that supplementing more of them does not boost cognitive function or slow down cognitive decline. Why is this the case? Well, our bodies only need a certain amount of B vitamins, and exceeding that amount doesn't offer any extra cognitive health benefits, and B vitamin deficiencies are not very common, especially in places like North America. L-Tyrosine, an amino acid, shows some potential for enhancing cognitive function, especially in individuals dealing with stress or anxiety. Research indicates that taking tyrosine can improve cognitive performance under noisy conditions, as well as boost cognition during periods of sleep deprivation. However, to experience these benefits, very high doses are needed, typically around 150 milligrams per kilogram of body weight. For instance, a 70 kilogram or 155 pound adult would require over 10 grams of tyrosine to see these effects. That's about 2 teaspoons of tyrosine. This high dosage requirement is why most combination supplements containing L-tyrosine for cognitive enhancement, like Alpha Brain, fall far short in their dosing, rarely providing enough tyrosine to make a noticeable difference. L-theanine, an amino acid naturally occurring in green tea, has some potential to enhance certain aspects of cognitive function, although the evidence is weak. Studies have shown that supplementing with L-theanine appear to decrease error rates in cognitive tests when compared to a placebo. However, while L-theanine or caffeine alone boosted cognitive performance, combining them did not yield additional benefits beyond just taking the caffeine by itself. Additionally, it's important to note that not all studies have found cognitive benefits associated with taking L-theanine over a placebo. Limited research exists on a particular wild green oats extract, indicating a potential improvement in overall cognitive speed, but not accuracy when compared to a placebo. However, this study used a specific proprietary oat extract known as Neurovena, administered at a large dose of 800 milligrams, neither of which are used in Alpha Brain. Phosphatidylserine plays a crucial role as a building block for nerve cells and holds some promise in addressing cognitive problems. Research involving individuals with cognitive impairment show that taking 100 milligrams of phosphatidylserine 3 times daily for up to 6 months may enhance various cognitive functions. In the case of Alzheimer's disease, phosphatidylserine seemed to offer temporary improvements in certain aspects of brain function. However, these benefits appeared to diminish after 16 weeks as the disease progressed. So while there is evidence that phosphatidylserine can at least temporarily improve cognition in those with Alzheimer's or cognitive impairment, there's no indication that it provides similar benefits to healthy individuals. There's no human evidence suggesting that cat's claw or any of its extracts can enhance or support cognitive function. Typically, it's used for arthritis, and even then there's limited evidence to support its use for that. I'm really not sure why it was included in Alpha Brain at all. Alpha-GPC, a form of choline, is a nutrient naturally occurring in foods like eggs. While there's evidence suggesting that alpha-GPC could enhance cognitive function in Alzheimer's patients, it required doses of 1,200 milligrams daily for up to 6 months, well beyond what Alpha Brain provides. Moreover, these effects were specific to individuals with Alzheimer's, not healthy patients. The idea that alpha-GPC might improve cognition in healthy adults stems from the belief that it acts as a precursor to acetylcholine, a neurotransmitter. Some believe that consistent use of alpha-GPC could raise acetylcholine levels, potentially benefiting cognitive functions. However, this theory lacks support from any human trials, and there's no scientific evidence to show that this benefit exists for individuals without Alzheimer's. In fact, prolonged use of alpha-GPC supplements have been linked to a higher risk of stroke. Therefore, unless you have a specific condition like Alzheimer's that warrants its use, I'd probably try to avoid using alpha-GPC. Bacopa is a herb that shows some potential for enhancing certain cognitive aspects in healthy adults, although the research findings are inconsistent. However, the doses examined in studies involving healthy adults typically range in the hundreds of milligrams per day, which is much more than what Alpha Brain offers. Huperzine A, extracted from plants like Chinese club moss, is known as an acetylcholinesterase inhibitor. In simpler terms, it blocks an enzyme that breaks down acetylcholine, resulting in higher levels of this neurotransmitter in the brain. This increase in acetylcholine may improve communication between neurons, potentially enhancing cognitive function. In Alzheimer's disease, Huperzine A has shown promise in enhancing memory, cognitive function, and behavior. It's commonly used in China for treating this condition. However, for healthy adults, Huperzine A is unlikely to have a significant impact on cognitive function. Furthermore, the use of acetylcholinesterase inhibitors like Huperzine A does not appear to provide notable benefits for individuals without Alzheimer's disease. Leucine is an amino acid that doesn't really impact cognitive function, but is one of the few branched chain amino acids, or BCAAs. BCAAs are thought to promote muscle protein synthesis, aiding in muscle repair and growth. They also provide energy for active muscles, helping to stave off fatigue during intense physical activity. However, getting a useful dose requires a lot, typically in gram amounts. The tiny quantity present in Alpha Brain is unlikely to have any noticeable effect. Pterostilbene is an antioxidant compound primarily found in blueberries. While whole blueberries have been studied for potential cognitive benefits, with some weak evidence suggesting they might help, there's no human research indicating that the specific compound pterostilbene has any effect on cognitive function. So let's break down what we've discussed. First, we'll eliminate ingredients without any human evidence supporting cognitive improvement or real benefits in humans. Next, let's consider ingredients with benefits for cognitive performance, but primarily in individuals with cognitive issues like dementia. These likely won't be very helpful for those who are healthy. Now, let's identify ingredients that have shown potential cognitive benefits for healthy individuals. Finally, let's eliminate all ingredients using doses too low to provide any benefit. This leaves us with two potentially useful ingredients, L-Theanine and Huperzine A. Among these, only L-Theanine, a compound found in green tea, offers some benefits for healthy adults. The remaining ingredients either don't improve cognition in healthy adults or have doses too low to be effective. Consequently, Alpha Brain is likely not much more effective for healthy adults than 1 or 2 cups of green tea. Alpha Brain is selling for around $54 per month. If I want to replicate it, I would combine L-Theanine with Huperzine A. L-Theanine is around $3 to $4 a month. Huperzine A is around $4 to $6 a month, although you could likely skip this ingredient if you don't suffer from Alzheimer's. Combined, you're looking at $7 to $10 a month. Rating Alpha Brain by effectiveness for improving cognition, I'm giving it a D. It'll functionally be about as good as drinking a cup or 2 of green tea. Rating it by cost, I'm giving it a D. It can be easily replicated at a much cheaper cost by getting the generic ingredients individually. Rating it for safety, I'm giving it a C. There are a number of ingredients that have the potential to interfere with medications, and because they mix in so many of them, it's hard to fully untangle all the possible side effects. Overall rating, I'm giving a D. I would not recommend it at all. Hi, I'm Dr. Brian Young. Do you think it's worth it? Let me know in the comments down below. And if you found this video helpful, please subscribe to the channel and leave me a like. Hit the notification bell if you want to stay up to date, and share this video with someone you know can use the info.